Yeah, we're heading home to Ontario. And you're Cruises there, yeah. We're going home to Ontario from Lansing, Michigan. I know at least one person in the car was a little skeptical that we were going to have fun in Lansing, Michigan this weekend, and we had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We did. We did. I didn't get to eat at a really nice place because in my ignorance.
Which is always shocking that happens when we're with you, but when you're by yourself.
I've tried.
When you're by
well,
yourself,
because when I'm by myself, I can walk in and walk up to the bar. Everybody can get in if you're one person.
Oh, you're one of those people.
I am one of those people. I walk in, table for one, no problem. You can eat at the bar. It's never a problem. But when you have 5 people and 3 of them are underage, it's hard to do that. So I called an hour and a half before. I called 2 or 3 of the bigger places in Lansing. Ronnie Wren had told me one place, and there was another place I thought was really good, but it was a smaller restaurant. And that's what I love about these towns. In that little smaller restaurant, you were shocked to say 10 tables in the place. Remember the first place?
It's not a small area, though. That city's not that small.
Oh, that's right. It's a capital of Michigan. You're right. It's not small, but that steakhouse was small. We couldn't get in. So we went to Texas Roadhouse. You guys may have one in your hometown. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Texas Roadhouse. It is what it is. You know, call and listen to the voicemail on Texas Roadhouse, and you'll know in 5 seconds what it is. It's like a honky tonk, it's like a steakhouse honky tonk type thing. It's okay if that's what you're into, if that's what you're looking for. But I was looking for something a little better, and didn't get it. That's okay. We had a great time. Went to bull riding last night, first time. No, that's not true. I told you about Campbellford. You weren't here. I told you that story before, though. My second time seeing bull riding. And this was in a much bigger venue. The place was jam-packed. It was nice. I got to sit down and meet Kim Pluta, who drove Brave World for us a couple of years ago in Michigan. Very nice man. Has a really nice family. I sat with them and watched the bull riding last night. And actually, day one, we didn't have that many people come into the seminar. Maybe 5 or 6 or 7. No, there's 10 or 11, 12 people there, but some of them were our people. So a couple of new people, but not a lot of them. And then I was thinking it was going to be a follow-up of the same the next day, and we ended up with quite a few more. 30 or 40 people were there, and we had a lot of fun. I got to meet a gentleman that owns one of the training centers in Michigan, and Chuck, a trainer in Michigan also, that was speaking, and really nice people. And I told them, I said, although there's 10 million people in Michigan, it has that small town feel, right? I'm from a small town, so the story of how the stable came about, where I came from, my roots, my past, it resonates well because it's very similar to a lot of people that are probably in attendance yesterday. So great audience, great talking with everybody, and also a great time. We did have a great time in Lansing, Michigan. Got to go to the trampoline place the day before. Amy still has that skeptical look on her face, and she's still trying to figure out if she had fun or not. No, you. Amy. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But everybody, Addie, she just jumped. Addie Bear, did you have fun this weekend? What was your favorite thing? Tell everybody what your favorite thing was.
I went swimming.
You went swimming in the hotel. That pool wasn't that good. What about the barrel racing?
Oh, is this the feeling about?
It's not even close.
Oh, I remember
not
this
even
feeling.
close. Addie Bear, what about the horses that raced around the barrels?
Yeah.
What about the crazy cows, the bulls? What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
I know what you're thinking about. The time, it's not the same at all.
It is the same.
No, it's not. Obviously, on our side, for your side of the world, we had Haunted House race last night. Race good. Got away in the 2-hole, held his position. Yeah, we had a blocker there in the middle on the outside, but finished up well. I don't know his last quarter. Had to be 27 apiece. Obviously, the Cullen horse looked gigantic. But Haunted House race good again, finishing second. Now, I had a couple of people say, are you going to pay him into that non-wars a 6 series in Miami Valley? I know the non-wars a 4 series went 51-52. So much of the same as we have here in Ontario. Is it worth paying him in just to keep that door open? Maybe. I haven't really talked to Harry about it. He's in that class, but he's treading water right now. He's doing well when he can, and raced well last night. I noticed his head check come undone. There's 2 weeks in a row that horse had broken equipment. He lost his shoe last week.
Oh, shoe.
It was his head check last night. Didn't seem to bother him any. He's a nice horse though, and regardless of where we race him, he'll do well. He'll do well, I'm sure. That was it for Saturday night. Our big big day this week is Monday. We have White Tiger in. James took White Tiger. We have 4 in, actually. White Tiger, Unbeatable Kemp is coming in razor sharp also and looks very good. Locatelli is coming in razor sharp and looks very good. And World for Two, James opted off of. I thought that was a mistake, but I'm not gonna push James to pick over horses. I'll leave that up to him. And he picked something of Richard Moreau's, and I'll drive World for Two. And I think World for Two will be just fine in there. Somebody said, well, it might be the wrong class. You should maybe put him in the non-winners of 3 or 4. There's no easy classes right now. The non-winners of 4, I think, or somewhere around there. It's not far off of where Haunted House is racing. So, they're fast. These are tough classes, no matter where there's no hiding. No hiding at Mohawk, anyway, for these horses. So we'll assess how World for Two does on Monday and where his future will lie. Will he race more in Ontario? Will we send him somewhere else? We'll figure that out very, very soon. Last week, I'd sent a message. I didn't get a chance to talk to Jimmy yet. Sent him a message. Joe said that we'll probably just rest Atlas Hanover and take him home. And get him ready. I mean, my feeling right now is I don't want to get stuck where I'm being myopic and I just look at one path. But my feeling right now is Oak Grove would be a good place for a horse like Atlas Hanover if he comes back good and if the class is going to fill. Here's the problem we have for Oak Grove. Some of these horses we're going to have to gauge, are the classes going to fill down there? The last thing we want to do is send horses all the way down to the other side of Kentucky, almost Nashville, and find out that they're not going to get in or have to race over their head. Oh my God, that would be horrific. So we want to do that. I had mentioned Sintra maybe. We'll see how he plays out, what Harry thinks of him. I felt bad yesterday. We talked about, briefly in my video yesterday, we talked about International Women's Day and all the fantastic women that work with us in the barn or train for us. And I forgot to talk about the one person that we nominated for the O'Brien Award this year was Nellie Beaulieu and her mom. So somebody mentioned it to me and I'm like, no, I mentioned it. And I went back and listened. I'm like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. So the reason I said that is Nellie and her mom take care of Sintra and Harry's barn. So a lot going on right now as I drive home to Michigan. All these. Oh, this is telling us to go through Sarnia. That's cool. A lot of stuff going on right now. My focus right now is obviously getting everything done with the stake payments. That is coming up this week in a few days. Going to send that check out for Joanne Staking. So for those of you that maybe haven't had a chance to send your money yet, please do. Also, and I guess a two-pronged attack. We have the stakes over here on this side of my brain, trying to get everything paid off and taken care of on this side of my brain. On this side, the horse racing side. What's that?
Bring this horse together.
Yeah, I don't care. Go ahead.
It costs money.
Oh, I downloaded a horse game for Addie, and they've already figured out how to get money out of us.
Oh
Costs money to breed the white horse to the brown horse. Probably costs a lot more to breed the white horse to the white horse. Games. And on this side of my brain is the racing side. As I told everybody, by April 1st, we should have upwards of 33 horses more qualified at the stable. So factoring in all the horses we're going to have racing, and then add that to 33, April is going to be our first very, very busy month of the year as far as racing goes. Really, really excited to see how the horses go this week. I'm going to be schooling and qualifying upwards of 8 or 9 on Thursday morning. Now, I'm not going to be able to go with them all. We'll probably have 2 schoolers, 3 or 4 in one, 3 or 4 in the other, whatever. However many Jason wants to go with, that's how many we're going to go with. Before I went back home the other day, we had trained, it seemed like an endless line of horses in the race bike I went with. And all of those horses are ready to go right now. So I'm interested to see what is going to take place with those particular horses. Obviously very interested in what took place yesterday. We had Brace for Landing training. James said he trained good. And then we had a number of horses qualifying. Red Overbach qualified in 57 on a terrible track. If you guys watch the qualifiers, if you guys watch the qualifiers, they had to go through the turns in the 3 wide path. The rail was just washed out. So Red Overbach trotted 57 out in the middle of the track for the most part. Gandalf the Black qualified with a last quarter in 27 flat. What are you guys doing? In the middle of the track, and horn player made a break. James said he couldn't really put his finger on why she made a break. Can you guys fix that?
She wants you to buy a new horse every 5 minutes.
Okay, it's not going to happen.
Costs money.
No, we're not buying any new horses, virtual or otherwise, right now. Addie Bear, you play with that horse right now, or I'm going to Amish him. Is there an Amish button on there? I'm gonna sell that horse. I'm gonna sell him to Jebediah. So horn player made that break. James couldn't figure out why. Now Dominic is adamant that she shied away from a whip. It's possible. It's possible. But my biggest concern with horn player was I asked James. I said, I know the track was bad. Does she feel like a filly that we should be staking very deep? This is the time of year we have to have these very serious conversations. And I know when I schooled her in 2-1 the other day, I thought she was good, but there's a long way from 2-1 to 53. He said, honestly, she feels good, but, are we going to see her in the Breeders' Crown? I don't think so. So I think I have to go over a number of staking packets again before tomorrow. We'll probably amend. Somebody asked about Gandalf Black. I knew I paid him into the Spring Series, and I did. That's a good qualifier from him. Man, he looked really good. And James is, James doesn't throw around compliments very often when it comes to horses. He lets them do their own talking on the track. He doesn't like to speculate, which is good. But he was very, he was very optimistic about Gandalf the Black. He thought he qualified well. He thought he was very strong, and he had lots left in the tank. So that makes me very optimistic also. And then with horn player, he just said, I can't say she's going to the Breeders' Crown or she's Breeders' Crown material. So again, two different things. I don't think there's a whole lot to amend on Gandalf the Black. We haven't paid into the OSS. We haven't paid into the Spring Series. If there's something else there that makes sense, we'll look at that, but I don't know that there is. And when it comes to a horse like horn player, we'll probably scale her back a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, if you're going to start paying horses into the Breeders' Crown, there should be legitimate aspirations that she's a Breeders' Crown horse. And we're at qualifying time now. Now horses can improve vastly over the summer, and as they get 8-10 starts into them. But from 2-1 to 53 is a jump that I just don't think we're not willing to go down that road right now. As far as her individual worth, I mean, keep in mind, she is she's tactical landing, right? She's a tactical landing daughter, which makes her a half-sister to Alarm Detector, obviously, and you saw what we sold the broodmares for last year in the latter part of the summer into the fall, so there is still quite a bit of value there in horn player, regardless of what she does in the spring or summer or fall of 2023. As far as the horses I'm most optimistic about this week coming up and over the next few weeks, luckily for you, I still have my list here from the other day. Brace for Landing is the one that still stays on top of my list, and I'm going to tell you why. James said to me yesterday, he's still frail. He still needs some weight. I said, yes, James, but he's tall and he's lanky. We can only put it on so quick. So Amy said he ate his mash good. So what we do is, I've told you guys this, for the horses that I feel are a little bit light right now or into the summer, what we'll do is try to get them. Oh my God, we need gas. What the hell's wrong with me?
Is that what that dinner was?
Yeah, it's a gas light. Never go anywhere without gas. Go here, accept, fuel, all fuel stations. There's one. Yeah, I gotta go back, I guess. Means you probably gotta get off right here. Oh, it's only 4 minutes to a trip, we're fine. Yeah, Irish Road. That's the way it is. Brace for Landing. So what we'll usually do is jog them first in the morning. They get their breakfast. They jog early. Then around 10:30, they'll get a mash. A can of feed and a can of bran. That's what I thought. Yeah, can of feed and a can of bran. And then their lunchtime they'll get the same can of feed, can of bran. If you can get them to eat that extra feeding, it almost appears like it doesn't matter how much work you're putting into them. You can put weight on them. Brace for Landing does need weight, but he's not frail. He's always been like that. He's always been streamlined, right? That's just him. And the way he trained last week, as I said, if we can put any weight on this horse, as I start training him down, the way he felt the other day, man, I think the sky's the limit for this horse. I really do believe that. And the reason I say that is because here's a horse that he's already won twice in 56 as a 2-year-old, right? As he was immature. And I can't stress this enough. As we were, what kind of a coloring pad is this?
Yeah, it's sending us back.
Yeah, it's in his back a tiny bit, but
There's a gas station right there.
yeah, this stupid phone.
Some local.
This phone is ridiculous.
No, it's this GPS on here. It's
Yeah, your GPS is ridiculous. In a second, sweetheart, we're getting gas and I'm still doing a video. So Brace for Landing, I think when you look at last year, how immature he was, here's a horse that and I said this a couple of weeks ago in a video, if you go back and you watch the video of me winning with him at the Meadows, at the half he almost pulls up. Not being rude, just being stupid. He wheels out in the 2.5 wide lane and then I put him in gear and away he's gone. He doesn't do that anymore. We trained this horse down with an open, happy bridle, no head check. No problem. He is focused, laser focused, straight ahead, and that's exactly how I want to see Brace for Landing. Can you do that? That's exactly how I want to see Brace for Landing do his work at this point. Now here's a horse that's a focused, well-bred horse that we already have proven has tons of speed. I think the sky's the limit for him. Now I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Columbus will likely. I said to Jason, are any of these horses, is it worth schooling them? They've seen the gate. They're comfortable with the gate. They've been a fast mile. Are we taking a start away? Do we need to, like a horse like Oliver? A horse like Columbus, hot at the gate. He trained now 1.5 miles twice. We haven't gone a straight mile in the bike with him yet, so I guess maybe he could wait a week. But I do know that Full Heart, I've trained her twice by herself very fast, and to put her behind the gate where she is going to be agitated, does it make more sense to maybe just qualify her? I don't think schooling her is going to teach her anything. She is not the easiest horse to teach anyway. She is a ball of speed. Not a runaway the other day. We've had horses that are straight up runaways. She was not a runaway the other day. Will she get hotter when she sees other horses in the starting gate? Probably. But will that dissipate if she sees it twice? I don't think so. So I think we'll probably just put Full Heart into qualifying. I think she will go without the hobbles on. We'll see how she is. She did put a couple of steps in going into the turn, coming out of the turn. You have to watch her, right? She is a trotter. But I believe maybe qualifying her on Thursday makes the most sense. Gandalf is qualified. High Enterprise, another one. Do we have to school her again? I've trained her in the race bike twice now. The only horse I believe was a little bit of a letdown this week was Landing Pad. I know Dominic said he was a little rough. He was a little out of gear. Here's a horse that we may end up taking over and finishing off in Ohio. This is a horse probably going to be a little more effective as an overnight horse. Maybe he'll end up. Oh, yeah, there you go. Maybe he'll end up being a good overnight horse for us. We need to pick our spots. But first and foremost, we got to get him qualified. We got to get the Landing Pad that shows talent to show up consistently and show up on the track. He should be ready to go now. Is this a horse we're going to leave in Mohawk when we have all these other horses qualifying and getting ready? There's a chance he may move in the next week or so. No guarantees. Nothing saying we're going to for sure, but there is a chance we will do that. The horse that we're going to talk about, the one that was a little upsetting this week, and again, you're going to get that. We should talk about the one that I thought was the most impressive this week. The horse that impressed me the most this week, truthfully speaking, the horse that we had horses we went with that I expected them to look good. Full Heart, yes, she's got a lot to do mentally to really impress me. It doesn't matter how fast she goes, there's always that mental component where she's bit of a mental midget, to be honest. She doesn't, her stubbornness, it makes it very difficult to teach her. So, although she's been as fast or faster than these horses training, I'm not shocked. But the horse that really wowed me this week was Leaps and Bounds. The way she trained, the way she looked, I was really, really impressed with her. And excited about watching More Than You Know race this week. This horse looked fantastic last week qualifying. And even a horse like Oh My Gosh. Only won a mile in 2.5, but we did come out last half in 58. So I was fairly impressed with Oh My Gosh. Swinging Senorita, somebody said, well, is she ready to go now? No, we're not in a big hurry to get ready to go with Swinging Senorita. We want Swinging Senorita to be ready to go for the Hackett. So we're going to train her a number more times. We're going to screw her down really tight with schoolers, or with one schooler, qualify her twice, and have her ready to go when the Hackett comes. That's the plan for Swinging Senorita. Tailgate Buzz, another horse. If there's a class, if we can look and say, okay, the numbers of 4 at the Meadows is filling. How much is it going? That's what we have to shoot for. I have no interest in just qualifying Tailgate Buzz and saying, okay, he's ready to qualify, so let's qualify him and get him going. Ollie, is that your tablet?
No, that's your phone.
Hey,
Yes.
turn that down. I can hear that through your earphones, honey. Turn it down. So, Oh My Gosh, Tailgate Buzz. If we will shoot for that. So if we know he fits in the numbers of 4, I assume they'll get him in the numbers of 4. If we can get him in the numbers of 4, how much do they go? Okay, if they go in 56, how long between now with Tailgate Buzz to get him comfortably to 56? And that is what we'll aim for. His first start, I think, we have him and Austral paid into the PA All-Stars, I believe, and a number of other stakes, but they don't start up until May sometime. So if we're going to have them ready earlier than May, we need to make sure. I have no interest in starting him unless they can win. So
These two are stuck together.
that's like 4 stuck together. But you just keep chewing on them like a chipmunk,
That's
okay?
Same
Goes for Sister Solange. I know everybody's like, when's she racing? Where is she racing? I left that up to Megan, and I told her, listen, she's aware of the issues with the licensing with a lot of people in our groups. She's aware of what's going on in that regard. But first and foremost, she needs to be on top of her game when it comes to when the filly's going to race. Is she going to be able to put some weight on her? Is she going to be able to get her appetite up? I haven't spoke to her one-on-one yet about Sister Solange, but I know her qualifier in 58. Physically speaking, she was underweight, quite a bit underweight. And if she can start to get her eating good, the reason I picked Megan's was because she's at a training center where they can get out in the field, relax a lot of the time. I think it's just stress management. Being at a track where you're in a stall all the day or you're jogging or training, for most horses that's fine, but not for her. So I'm interested to see how Sister Solange is going to be and obviously where she's going to race. Patrick De Piranha is starting to train back now and get ready for the summer. Kings County, when he's done doing his extracurricular work over the next week, he'll be back in training. Odds on Delray. When did he race? Did he not race?
Yesterday.
Did you race?
4th.
Odds on Delray was 4th? Oh, I didn't know that. I forgot to watch him. Odds on Delray was 4th. My apologies. We were having so much fun in East Lansing, Michigan that I forgot to watch Odds on Delray. How'd you know he was 4th?
Marvin told me.
Oh. He wasn't claimed then, I guess, was he?
That I do not know.
Oh.
I'm sure he would have heard something.
Yeah, somebody would have said something. Take a Dive Off Dippers, racing good down per Lucky, quietly again, just assuming himself as a real gatekeeper for the stable over the last month or so. Not quite an open trotter, but he's down out of the open this week, and I expect he'll do very well. So we have a number of horses racing right now. As I said, HB Maestro, Dustin, both have been racing good. HB Maestro made that break. I think that's easily fixed, and it is already addressed. How the Hell, I'll train him Tuesday. Haunted House race good. JK Victory will race this week. Looks like money another week and a half or so off. Red Overbach will race this coming week. Stonebridge Acadi will race this week coming up also. World for Two is Indigo Monday with Kemp Yo Mr. Tuesday. Locatelli Monday. She's a Sassy Beach has been racing very, very good. And my boy, Stay Close, kept his eye, made it through. Amy and everybody else did a great job. You guys don't know how frustrating that was, I'm sure, for her to go back every 2 hours, every 4 hours. But you know what? It paid off. The horse is now on the mend, ready to train, and ready to race soon enough. So, we talked about the stakes. We talked about all the horses that are getting ready to qualify. We even talked about a couple of horses I'm very interested to see train down and finish qualifying. Obviously, Brace for Landing, Spitfire, Crantini, and Carter, Michael Dio. all getting closer to the races. But I guess one of the most important things for this week, and I made a big asterisk right beside it, is the letter writing campaign for the New York Sire Stakes and New York Racing Commission. This is spearheaded by a number of our New York clients and Tom Grossman at Blue Chip Farm. So Kelly has sent a request out to you guys to write letters in and just explain, she outlined it very well in Karen Dallamore's email, just about what she loved about racing and why we don't participate as much in New York. And there's nothing holding us back other than the licensing practices in that state. I talked to a number of people about the Michigan. Michigan still has fingerprinting too. So, it's a cash grab. It's something that is unnecessary in this industry. And as I said, quite frankly, to one of the representatives yesterday, if you have a passport or any sort of heightened ID where there are some sort of background checks, they do have a retinal scan or they do have your fingerprints on file, they know who you are, you're able to cross international borders, you should be able to own a racehorse, I think. So that would be a start, somewhere I would look. But again, is that something that New York's going to do? The politicians have a tough time looking ahead and being proactive. And they're going to look at the money that is brought in from fingerprinting and licensing and think that that's going to go away, so we can't have that happen. What they don't look at is how many people that are watching this video alone that just won't become members of any sort of New York association or get a New York license because of the licensing practices. So you have that amount of money here, right, which is short-sighted. They would rather pick up dimes than look for dollars. And that's pretty much, and they're not the only ones. This isn't me just ragging on New York. Ontario's 1% and could change their practices also, right? New Jersey, same way. There and the easy way to do it. Well, we need to go back to 5%. That is not the fix, right? That doesn't fix anything. Truthfully speaking, it used to be 5% in Ontario, and you're looking at the reason why it's not anymore. The first thing I had them do was lower it to 1%. I asked them to do that, thinking that the follow-through with that would be, affordable licensing. And that hasn't happened. And the reason that's so important, ladies and gentlemen, is for the simple reason we need to have everybody accounted for in this industry. We, for the most part, now they don't in Michigan yet, but we work with casinos, we work with governments to make sure that we are funded, to make sure that we have money to race for, and all they ask for is growth. We can't show them growth if everybody that owns less than 5% isn't accounted for anywhere. Now, can we? So again, here's our industry shooting itself in the foot. We'd rather not collect the less than 5% because they don't matter. Yeah, I am in a second, honey. But they do matter. All those numbers matter a lot, and they all need to be accounted for. So hopefully in the future, in the coming months and years ahead, the industry as a whole will understand that and will move forward with some sort of proactive licensing reform and program. Addie Bear. Yeah, no, that's you. So the letters to New York is simply to let them know, listen, here we are. We would happily participate in racing and other programs in New York State, but we cannot do that because of your licensing practices. If you'd like to reform them, that would be great. Let's talk. And I don't know if anything will come from that, but at the same token, it's upon us and important for us to at least try to open that dialogue. So that's it. That's your opening for this week. Adeline, I'll turn that off if you keep it up. That's our opening for this week. We talked about the staking. We talked about all the horses. Most importantly, at least for today, we talked about the letter writing campaign. So thank you all for the people that we've talked to this week, the dialogue and the emails that were sent in that particular project, and everybody else that has raced all week. So good luck. Who do we have racing today? Perlucky. Perlucky's racing tonight. Good luck to my partners in the Perlucky group and everybody else racing this week. It should be a lot of fun from here on in. A lot of horses schooling, qualifying in the coming weeks. Take care.